Hello everyone. How's it going? We are in the last London session of this year. Isn't it crazy? Time went really fast. How are you guys doing? Everyone doing well? Wow. So I was looking at the price action of yesterday, and even after the 2 p.m. move, right? It went into that end walk, but at that time it still did not fill or balanced out the imbalance at that time. It just did it. It just did it in this session. So, talking about time distortion and not doing things. You see this little end walk here? We just moved down to it, but only sell side. So we still need to balance it out with buy side. So I think we're going to get a move up into the area today, but we'll see. It's interesting to see how slow it's really been going, right? Because yesterday we actually had a larger move in the 11 o'clock in the afternoon session here. Where was it? 11, when we went up and then we went down. That was actually larger than the move that happened at 2 p.m. It trickled down after market close, right? You see here 6 o'clock, we went down, and then right into Asia, and then it consolidated in the end walk, and then it made this little move just after midnight. Boom. Here we are. Hey, Ahmed. Hi, Antisocial. How are you guys doing? Last day of the year. Let's see what the market is giving us. But it's quite interesting because I was, yesterday again, I was aiming for that area higher, and I was thinking about that when I was journaling. I was like, okay, why is it not doing that? So then I was like, okay, interesting. It doesn't have to fill all the imbalances, right, for now. So if we're going to go down, so the algo is just leaving us already, little signatures for future price movements. So if we have now more movement to the downside, and the levels that I'm looking at, but they're not being, it did the same exactly at 2, what it did in the morning. It went to a level, but it did not do what the market normally does. Takes liquidity or balance out imbalances. And the balancing out imbalances is sort of it doesn't do it it goes to the levels, stops before it goes back into the range, and then it takes its time, goes into consolidation, and then does it on a later stage. So that's fascinating to see, right? Like, okay, eventually it does it like it did now in this end walk, and a lot of people were thinking, obviously, like yesterday, okay, we're going to go now into the end walk, and it didn't do it again, right? And then it does it now. So it's quite interesting to see now what are we going to do with these last few hours. There's 8:30 news, so it looks sort of bearish now, right? So I'm just wondering what the market has in there's more to the downside, I guess. I would think now. This is but I'm just thinking out loud. It could be totally wrong, and the market will tell us soon enough. We have a few other imbalances to the downside, and I'm just wondering if that is what it's going to do. Let me show you on the 4-hour. Like, we have one here, an end dog that has some imbalances, which is also before the 6 standard deviation. So I'm just wondering if we're going back, if buy side, if we're gonna do we have now, are we in the sell side of the curve and going back into this original consolidation to this bullish breaker, so to speak? So even though we go into this area, we're still rebalancing. Technically a bullish breaker to go back up to the upside. So I'm just wondering if we're going to get some movement. We might get some displacement to the downside, which I would actually like, considering now we're sort of like, you would think, are we going to go back up there? It's highly unlikely now, right? So let's see. So we might get some movement to the downside. Maybe not. Maybe I'm totally wrong. We have a 4-hour here. In 10 minutes, we have another 4-hour candle coming. So it's curious what it's going to do. But it's interesting for me just to monitor, like, okay, what has price been doing? Like, okay, it doesn't really take out that it doesn't really balances out those imbalances straight away. It's very slow, which is understandable if it doesn't have to do a lot anymore and it's just waiting for those few moments that are left in the year, right? But yesterday gave me some clues like, okay, you know what, you're going to leave these for next year. So I'm already writing those down and I'm already like, you know what, it's okay. You're giving me now hints for the next year. You're not going there now, but you know, there are imbalances. So I'm going to write it down and you're going to be in play maybe in the first quarter or maybe even in the second quarter. We'll see. Interesting price action, but hey guys, this is never fun to be in here. But you can see, let's count the 4-hour candles if it were 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and these were 9, right? We had here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we had one candle less here. So, but yeah, you know, you can always mimic. It's always sometimes it does not apply, but a lot of the time when you have consolidation on the left, you will have on the same area the consolidation to the right. Same where the breaker will, if you have a clear breaker on one side in the same area, you'll have the one at the other side. There will be a slightly difference, of course, but the left gives us a lot of information for the right side. Now let's see what they're going to do in our 150 macro. Okay, we took out this low here, right? That was Tuesday's 23rd of December. Now, what are we going to do? Choo-doo-doo-choo-choo. Five, three, 8. Anybody already? No, Jay, they did not. Jay, you're not reading it properly, Jay. And there is still an imbalance in the end walk. It is not. It is not mitigated. It just went through it, but it's not balanced out. And it did not do it again in the 2. But if you look closely on the higher time frame, there's still an imbalance. It's still balanced. It's still buy side imbalanced. Just going through it is not rebalancing the imbalance. It needs, you know, you really have to see it as when is it balanced, right? If you look properly, it only has sell side right now. It went through it, but it's still not balanced. Listen, there will be, if once you understand that concept, you will see the market totally differently. That's why I was looking at that. I was aiming for that higher a TP yesterday, right? And it didn't go there again. And I'm so intrigued by that. Okay, why do we go so close to that little we go back there, we stop again, and it leaves that same little imbalance there. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So for me, that's like I always note all these levels. So that's why when we go, let's say we're going to get displacement to the downside. I already know now, if we go back up, what would be the target? Where would the move end? Exactly that place where it didn't go yesterday, because it leaves it open for future. But just going through an N walk, Jay, look at this N walk. Is it balanced or not? Just look. What do you see? It's this area, right? What do you see? So I'm on the 4 hour, and I'm doing that on purpose. No, but what has gone through the N walk? What do we call that? Now let's say you cannot call it yet, but let's say we're going to form another 4 hour candle. What do we have here? What do you call that? I'm not. I don't want to spoon feed you. I want you to have that aha moment, because you will have it once you start. I wanted you to think about it, and once you see it, you're like, oh, now I get it. What you mean? And then you will be like, shit. And then you will look at the market from a totally different perspective. So I'm not going to spoon feed you. I want you to think. What do you see? What went through it on the 4 hour? What do you see? Or anyone else in the chat? What do you see here? What is this? So I'm not looking at the 1 hour. I'm looking at the 4 hour. Exactly. Yeah. And Alex, what does the SIBI stands for it? So if you, yeah. So Alex already gave a little tip. So I'm not going to I'm not going to spoon feed anyone. Technically, it's not a SIBI yet, because we are creating, but you think ahead already, and you can see, okay, what's going on. We're going to get most likely a SIBI, or, you know, but what does the SIBI already has the answer in the full. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. And without spoon feeding anyone, you gave the answer already. No, but Jay, it's not about seeing it yet, but do you see that when you look at that N walk here, what do you see? You don't see a SIBI, but you see cells. You can see it's a closed candle, and the candle is a down closed candle. So it doesn't matter if it's a SIBI yet or not, but if it becomes a SIBI, you even have more information. But you also need to understand, without it being a SIBI, what do you see, right? If it's a SIBI or not, is it balanced or not? Let's make it the question simpler. Is it balanced or not? Is the inefficiency there? If it's a SIBI, it doesn't matter if it's a SIBI. Yeah, but so DBT, actually, the if it's a SIBI, it's very, then you have you have a fair value gap there, which is easy. But now on the 4 hour, it's not technically a SIBI, but the person who said it is already actually thinking further ahead. It doesn't have to be a SIBI to see the imbalance. That's the point. If that makes sense. So, but Jay, do you understand the imbalance part? That's all. That's what matters, right? Because Jay is correct. There is no CB yet, so that's correct. But that's actually not the point. The point is the imbalance. Okay. Okay. Let's focus on. Hey, Tommy. I have no idea. I think. I do think we are in a down movement, but let's see what the price action is going to give us, because it's very fickle right now, and it does not really, there's no follow through on the moments that we expected. But let's see if we get a 4-hour distribution candle to 2.5 maybe, or I just want to see how we're going to react in this area. Um, um, so I'm just going to repeat it again. It's like the market only does two things: balance out imbalances and seeks liquidity. So I am very much focused on for me, I understand the liquidity, but for me, I'm more focused on the imbalances, because I find that the imbalances most of the times come before the liquidity is taken. So it's like a cycle it goes through. So I'm very much focused on where are the imbalances of the market? Where will the market go to seek? So what is left for the imbalances? So that's why I look through the market through that lens. So when I see this go through here, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. We finally went through on the 4, and also you have to take into account, Jay, it's different in every time cycle. So if you go in the 1 minute, you will see buy side, sell side. It's all, then you would, if you only look on the 1, 5 minute, maybe even 15 minute, you will see it as a balanced price range, but it's not on the higher time frame, right? So that's the difference. So when I say when there's a lot of wicks are a lot of gaps, and gaps needs to be rebalanced, and gaps that takes time. So that's why when you have a wick like this, even in this N walk, right, you would see it as a balanced price range, because you think, okay, there's buy side, sell side, and there's a lot of activity going on there. Yes, on the lower time frame, but that's why on the 1 hour or even lower, you see a lot of, I call them baby candles, right? I always make jokes about it. They make baby candles. That's the rebalancing of that in that time frame. But on the 4 hour, we still don't have any. For me, it's not balanced enough. So I'm still expecting. I want a 4 hour. So how can I sometimes? How am I good? Why am I good in trading 4 hour distribution candles? Understanding this concept exactly, because I want a 4 hour distribution candle. It might not be today, but I want to kind of going up through here and close. So that's why I have confidence in my trades or my larger trades, because I know that 4-hour candle, once we start going, it has to go through this one and has to close above it. So that's why I'm able to sit back, relax, and be confident in those larger trades. Does that make sense in any way? I know it's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit intermediate for experienced ICT traders or just people that understand markets. Does it make sense, or am I confusing everyone? Because I sometimes know that it's complicated and then I have to find another way to explain it. Hey Norek, how are you doing? But for now, I'm bearish. But let's see how they, if we're going to get a retracement or we're just going to continue to the downside for a while. Gosh, I'm boring you with end of year information. Let me know if it's clear or not, or I need to think about how to explain it in a different way. Yes, Norik, it's a lovely day, and yeah, I'm just really happy. I'm just very happy at the moment. So we have this is the monthly candle that I have on my chart. I'm monitoring the percentages of the monthly candle because I want to see how the monthly candle is behaving. Because it's the last day of the month, I am sort of like, I can say, applying the TGIF logic to the monthly candle now, if that makes sense. to even, let's confuse everyone a little bit more. Yes, not on the weekly candle yet, but on the monthly candle. Why? Because the logic is fractal. It applies to every candle, monthly, yearly. But we are in the middle, so I don't think we're gonna break any highs or low on the monthly though. Let that be clear. I'm using the logic of the percentage a little bit different than ICT teaches, but I won't get into that too much. But I've been sharing the thing about yeah, technically, Alex, yes, you can. It is technically, it is just the OHLC of a candle, right? Open, high, low, close. So technically, every candle, most of the time, on generally, has a retracement. It makes a high, open, high, low, close. So if you have a high or low, most of the times it goes back into the range, right? And that's how you get the wicks. So that's why we don't have a TGIF every Friday, because it doesn't happen all the time. But the logic of a open, high, low, close is that the percentages are sort of like, generally speaking, open, high, low, close. And then you have to understand the if-then statements. When does it do when? But right now you can see here, this is the monthly candle. We have a very small body and very large wicks. Now, what is that going to tell us for next month? When we're going to close with large wicks, you already know you're going to get a choppy month, right? Because it's going to be a lot, because what wicks are just a lot of gaps and lots of imbalances. And that means we're going to go, let's say we're going to end up here somewhere and with two large wicks. We're going to get a lot of back and forth. So you can prepare yourself for a lot of back and forth. You expect a 3 a.m. strong buy. Well, let's see. Who knows? I don't know. But Alex, it's just fractal. It's just, everything is fractal, right? Every candle has an open, high, low, close. So those percentages sort of like, and that's why ICT says it's sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50. You know, it can differ. But if you have like a break of a high or low at the end on Friday itself, or like for today on the monthly candle. We're not going to get that. I don't think we're going to break a low or a high anymore. But are we going to use the percentages? Yes, because well, I'll go over it once if I see it happening, but I do use where are we in the monthly candle? Are we in the 20, 30, 40% of the range? Because at some point when it retraces back, it's sort of like it has met its objective and it doesn't do much, then consolidate, for example. So yesterday we could see very clearly that the monthly was between 20 and 30% of the range, and it just consolidated exactly in that range. So that's why I'm monitoring that range. So okay, what have we done in the macro? Consolidation, small move to the downside. We take out liquidity here, but very strong, right? It was very weak, small move. And I need to... If we are going to distribute to the downside on the 4-hour candle, there won't be any move to the upside for a while, I think. So let's see what's going to happen. Did we do this? Hello, Anthony. Welcome. Welcome to the family. And just for full transparency, guys, I'm just paper trading now the last few days of the year. It's already the last day, by the way. I already closed all my accounts. I'm just easing myself out of the market and just tape reading, going over levels, preparing myself for the next year. And I'm focusing, I'm just the YouTube, the channel just started 4.5 months ago, so I really am focusing as well on doing some stuff for the Discord and just things like that. So every trade I put on is just going to be paper trade. The market is very fickle, and I just don't like the market too much at the moment to trade on, but it's still very, it still gives a lot of information and intel for next future moves. And this market really, really learns you how to be patient, right? I mean, so that's also something that I'm working on, being more patient. I already got much better this year, though. It was pretty bad, to be honest. It was pretty bad before when I really started trading, but now I was getting better, also because of the YouTube. Hey, Bowser, how are you doing? Are you feeling better, my friend? 370 to 80. Yeah, you think we're going to go much lower. I think we're going to get a distribution to the down. I'm also favoring distribution to the downside at the moment. So Bowser, it's very interesting to see. So yesterday, the manipulation, we were in the 4-hour consolidation. Look here, this was 4-hour consolidation. We went back up a little bit, but there was still an imbalance. It did not really... It went back exactly to the same point where it left the day before. It did not do anything. Yesterday at 2 p.m., the FOMC minutes, it went again into this N walk, but still didn't balance out. Given any sell side, it stopped again here, and it did just now. It's so interesting to see how they're just doing it so slowly and just, So I think people are really... people that are trading and thinking, oh, it's going there, it's so obvious. They're just getting slapped around like crazy because it just doesn't. There's no follow through in the moment you think there is follow through, right? So that's why you have to be very careful in these. Look, in hindsight, guys, it looks very clear. Oh yeah, it's going down, but a lot of people yesterday as well in the chat. Oh, it's going short. It's going short, and I was like, there is. I think we're going up because they're still at the 10 o'clock. There was a gap at the open, and those little, and it's like I think it's a trap, and you can tell that so many people are like falling for these traps, and especially around this time of years, they just the yearly objective, they don't need to do much anymore, so they're taking their time. It's by manipulation, going slow, trapping a lot of people. So that's why I'm not putting my money on the line anymore. It's okay. I mean, there were a few good moves and I could have made money, but I don't really care. I'm going to take this monthly candle off for now. Let me just take this off, get some more clarity here. Yeah, it's traps continuously and just no follow through. But hey, it leaves a lot of intel for next year because those gaps that they left open, I'm like, okay, I gotcha. Once we get like if we're going to get displacement to the downside and next year we go up, those are the levels that they're going to reuse again. So yeah, a lot of people are sick right now, by the way. Are you still trading, Bowser, or are you also just paper trading at the moment? What are you still, it's the last day, right? Let me quickly have a look at the daily. I need to look at the daily. There is news, by the way, at 8:30, guys. So, um, there is news. There is news. I think I want to go short somewhere. I just don't see proper structure, to be honest. Where can we go short? $539. I really like this area. 540-ish. But, where can I enter? Are you in NQ dropping? Well, gold's going up. Good times are back. Ooh, nice move. I'll be careful though for a long now. I don't know. Still get a bearish vibe a little bit. Hey Vincent, how are you doing? Aren't you on a game drive? Shouldn't you be in a back of a nice vehicle? I don't know. I don't see. For me, this is not really a bullish structure anymore. Yes, it's a move to the upside, but I would not really. I don't know. We do have some liquidity here, but I wonder if they do the same like on NQ, like run it, make a run higher and then go back down. Um, Open. We opened lower. This is also not very. I mean, we also be vigilant when the candle here opens lower than the close here. Yeah, we make a move to the upside, but it's forming. In, I think we're just forming the 4-hour manipulation wick on gold and then continuing lower. If I may say so, I would be careful for overstaying too long in. I could be wrong, but oh, you said you had a 7-hour game drive. Yeah, I miss it. It never gets boring, right? Okay. So the biggest herd of buffalo ever seen in Kruger today. It's raining there. Oh, really? How? It's been off everywhere lately. Hey Tamir, have you not been listening, my friend? I've been going over it all morning already with the what I think about NQ, but we also have to wait a little bit more for to get confirmation. But I'm bearish on NQ, but I also want to watch how we're going to react. Like I don't see a body closure above the 2 standard deviations, so I just want to watch a little bit because there's no follow through. You know, I think we might get a. Why is my every time it does it? Um, there's no follow through on all those moves, right? So it's sort of like it does a thing and then it stops and then it consolidates again or makes sort of like a failure swing to the upside before it really moves again to continue. So that's why I was looking here, especially here. You see the body doesn't go below the 2, but I do think at some point we might get a. But you see again, it's going up. So I'm not entering at all right now. I'm just watching, just to see if I when is it time to move. So we have to be more patient, right, with all these moves right now. And when they create all these balances here, so what happens? They go out, they take them out in one move, and they continue to move lower, or everybody thinks, oh, it's short, so they slap everybody around right now. So you have to be very, very careful. But if we get a move to the upside from here and then continuation, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, if we go into this SIBI now here, and then go down because we are at standard 2 deviation. We go back to 1.5, which is exactly here. We could continue the move to the downside, for example. So let's see. And then, but the problem is, where is my N walk here? If this 4-hour candle is going to go up again, we are not. Then I would love to have a bullish candle close here. So then this one is balanced, but I don't know if I want that, to be honest. So let's see. But that means we have then there won't be a 4-hour movement to the downside, if that makes sense, right? Because it's 2:27 now. This 4-hour candle is until 6. Then we have to, maybe they'll use the 8:30 news candle to drive price lower. So that's all possible. So I just want to see how price is behaving, so I can anticipate, like, okay, how can I, play my 4-hour candle. ES hasn't filled the gap. No, actually, and Q also still hasn't filled the gap completely, or balanced out the gap. Let me put it that way. Let's have a look at ES. Thanks, Andre. Let's have a look at ES. What is ES doing? Hello, Gigi. What is this? This is not correct. Andre, you're talking about this one lower here? Yeah, Andre, I think I'm also inclined to think that we might have more movement to the downside. But let's see. I'm just wondering what this 4-hour candle is going to do. It definitely made it clear yesterday. It doesn't want to close those imbalances on the upper side. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I'm like, okay, I don't think you're going to do it again today. We've got midnight here. Just want to see this 4-hour candle if we can move. Let's see. Oh, I hate my screen is flickering all the time, and I think sometimes when I restart my computer, I think there's a bad driver here or something. I have an issue with the driver or something. Every time I need to restart it, but I cannot do that because of. Okay, I want to see how we're reacting. If we are disrespecting, let's see if we stop here or we just going to pull. You see what they did here in London? They left sort of equal lows as well, right? I have bearish bias for it, so would need to see how this current for exactly, like if it would go. So on the 4 hour, you see we had sell side here, right, and no buy side. So we could go all the way back up into the fair value gap and then close the gap. But then, if that would be the case, would they go back down again, or would they go back up into those higher, in the higher levels to close those other imbalances? Because there's still imbalances to the upside as well. So I would prefer it not to go up higher than this and go back down, and then leave this imbalance here in this end wall a little bit. That would have my preference. 232. Am I going to short from here? That's actually just my preference. I'm just sort of like, it's my impatience. My impatience and my wish. So let's have a look at the 1 hour, by the way. So I would like to see it reject here. Okay, I like it because we have a 1 hour fair value gap here. Bodies are not over the 50%. Let's see. Could I make a very, with a very small stop loss? Hold on. Is that possible? 25 ticks. I like that. That's a risk I can take easily and okay to lose on that one. 232. I like the time for a reversal. And then 249 was my TP. Hold on. Where was my TP? Shit. I'm okay to lose 27 ticks for turtle soup. Now I can hear everybody already think, oh, midnight is there. Yes, I know. Damn it. I think it was somewhere here. Where's my TP? 200. Where is that level that I was looking for? Here we go. Here you go. Hey Dean, how are you doing? How's it going? So want to see if the 50 of the far, yeah, yes. Now I think I'm too early to be honest, but sometimes you just take a few stabs because sometimes you can, if you take, turtle soups are about taking a few stabs, and the thing about turtle soups is that you just get in and your risk is so low that you're okay to lose that. Are you struggling? Yeah, I think it's too early, but we'll see. I mean, um, it could still go up into this small little gap and go back down, but let's see if it's. I'm okay to be stopped out on this one. Then we'll just reassess because then it just might do it in the next macro, right? Because it's still early, 2:38. Um, what are you struggling with, Dean? With your over trading, you mean, or? You see this here. There's a nice little gap here as well. Okay, I'm getting out here. Yeah, it's gonna see there's a beautiful gap here. We have a beautiful first presenter that needs to be mitigated. Let's see. It's a beautiful little spot here. I like it. Yeah, it sounds always funny, right? The turtle soup. It's such a weird, but it doesn't make any sense. He did explain it a few times, but it still doesn't. I think I should rename it a little bit because it's actually it feels like a fast move and feels very. Um, you're either stopped out very fast or the move goes very fast. So that's what I like about the turtle soups, right? You go in and you know very quickly if you're wrong or not. You don't lose a lot of money. Okay, let's see. Is this a breaker retest on long? This is a breaker we can use. This is, this is bad. Before we go down, breaker, and then 2R. Could this be a quick breaker retest trade? Breaker has been activated here with this candle, right? We go back into the range, we retest it. Then can we take 2R, or I find it also very difficult when you have a consolidation zone like this. It's not easy because we technically already tapped into original consolidation. That's also the reason why I took this trade. But it looks like it does want to go up on the 1 hour. Let's see. Hey, Houston. Hey, Jerry talks. I've got family in Houston. I went to Houston a lot of it. My aunt lives in Humble. I went to Humble a lot of the time. And my cousin, he lives in Austin still. But hey, I know I've went there regularly, sometimes 2, 3 times a year. So hello. Houston. How's it going there? You, my aunt was saying that it was actually really nice and warm for the time of year. How's gold doing? Yeah, I would definitely not look for a long in this area. Or are you going to NQ forever? Yes. Hey, Trader Tim from Greece. Everybody's from all over the world is checking in. Ah, I stopped myself out though, but let's see if it was the right thing to do. We'll have to wait for the macro. So now if I would re-enter, I wouldn't have such a good entry again, but then again, I would rather see it maybe hit midnight, maybe go even higher, right? We'll see. I want this high sweat for a solid distribution move to the downside during New York. Yeah, I the thing now is that, like, to get like this confirmation that we normally get, you just don't get them now, right? Like the extra confirmation that or your extra confluence, they just don't give it to you. So that makes your trade more easy and just, okay, now I have confidence in the trade because of this, my if then statements. It just doesn't give them. It just sort of like, leaves you in the dark halfway. So it's sort of like you go into your trades with, normally I have 3 or 4, and then I'm like, okay, you know what, now I feel confident. But it's sort of like I go into it now with 1 or 2, or maybe sometimes even 1, and like, yeah, I'm just going to turtle soup it now because I don't have enough. It's just a small loss. That was my confluence, literally now. Because, yeah, I had the zero 0.5 here, the fair value gap, but, I'm aware of this London, about this, first presented of the midnight session. But I don't want it to go higher because I want it to go lower. So we leave this gap for the TGI, for the monthly TGIF, so to speak. So I would prefer it just to go lower because we have half a day, right? But we also have the 8:13 news candle. So, mm, well, for the 4-hour gap to be filled, it needs to close above this and go higher again. And I don't want to, technically, I don't want to see that because that means until 6 o'clock, then we will be up here. Um, I would rather see a move to the downside. So then we get some as a distribution trader, I want distribution. So that makes me, I don't want slow trickling up to the upside. And that's what we're going to get. If it's going to go up, we're just going to get slow movement to the upside. And it's just going to, I'm thinking about the 4-hour candle. Because once this candle, the 4-hour goes up, you need a close above that gap to really balance out that gap, right? On the 4-hour, not on the hour, but on the 4-hour. That's the difference. And I really wanted to go because I want distribution in London, guys. You don't, yeah, I need that. I need my fix, my distribution fix. No, I'm just joking. Hey, SMC ICT Trader USA, welcome. Okay, we might get the move to the downside. Probably NQ gonna hit 25 to 100 end of the week. Well, you know we have New Year's, right? So I wouldn't mind a nice move, a distribution move to the downside. Let me show you the date, the IPTA levels. Let me go over it. There's a lot on my chart, but you have to look through it. Let's go over the IPTA. IPTA tells you a lot, right? For those who are, where are my IPTA levels? Here. Look at that. Now, where do we have the imbalance? This one, I'm looking at this one here. I really like this one here. That's at 24,459, right? Ooh, Vincent, that's not true. No, we got some nice. No. We have some distribution in London. Um, and then we have this one here, right? This one here, but I'm also eyeing this one here. I know it's a large move. It's 1,000 points, but I don't know. This one here, I wonder if they release this one. This one is in IPTA 20, 40, 60, well, not even in 20, in 40 and 60. But we only have in the 20 and the 40, we only have this one left here, right? 25, 200. So that's what you, yeah, Jay, exactly. It's hard to define AMD right now, right? So it's sort of like, that's why that move yesterday, it was like, okay, that move to the upside. Remember that 10 a.m., that went to the 10 a.m.? I still don't know if it was there wasn't a clear, it's like when you come out of consolidation, because we went actually back into that consolidation range. So I was like, what was this? Was this A? Are we just still in the A? It's just, it's hard to read. And then you don't have that follow through all the time. And you're sort of like, okay, so when you don't have a proper A and you cannot define the M, how can you, get your D trade, right? But hey, that's trading in the range. I want to get good at scalping as well. Okay, this is off. There we go. But I think that we're gonna get our move to it because it just doesn't want to go up, right? Let's see. I've got a lot of things marked on this chart. I'm sorry, guys. Just trying to make it a little bit less. I'll take some things off. But for me, it's important to see. I want to see: are we going over 50%, right, or are we rejecting? So now the macro has started. Go Tom, have you tried the Discord link in the pinned in the chat? My John Wick candle for I would say that. Yeah, I'm also bearish, guys. I'm bearish. I mean, I've already showcased that a few times, but um, you know, I'm sort of pissed off if we get the distribution now and not in it. Well, I was actually in my turtle soup, but let's see. This might be the breaker, right? Go to the 1 minute. Yeah. I think my initial my setup was good, but I got yeah. I think we're gonna distribute to the downside. Yeah. Damn it. It's gonna distribute. It's gonna be a nice distribution. I think it's going to distribute now, but let's see. Let's see if it's going to disrespect this candle. We didn't go over 0.5. So this is what I like to see, because I think at some point we might get a move to the upside again to close the gap, but I think it's going to go. So 2. But the bodies are not going below the 2. I'm going to enter when we get below the 2 here. Let's see. And we have a little gap here also created within the 150 to 210 macro, so we might balance off that one as well. I didn't see that before. You see this gap here? Here exactly. When we closed at 210, we formed a little gap here. So let's see how it's going to behave in this area. So, and that's exactly around the 2 standard deviation again. So I really need price to go below this to go here. But I think once we go here, we're gonna go. It's gonna go. So it's gonna be continuation, right? You see here 1, 2, 3, and one more. Or are we going to create one of these bastards? Yes, let's vote for the distribution. But on the other hand, if you look at this one here, right? I hope that we're going to create one of these when we get lower. So not now, not here, but here, right? That's when we get. Hey guys, in all honesty, I'm getting impatient. I can feel it. I can, even though I'm just paper trading, I can feel like I'm getting like, oh my god, I got in here, I got out, and it doesn't move, and it really is starting to annoy me a little bit, because I just want that, even though it's just a paper trade, it's still for me, I journal it. It's like, am I reading the market properly? Are my levels correct? It's not about the money, but it's just about reading the market, understanding what it's doing, and if it's not doing it the time that I want to know it now, right? To like, and sort of like, I can feel it. I'm getting really impatient, because I just like, okay, come on, just do it. So I know it that I was wrong or right. And I don't know. I really, I'm really impatient now. And all my accounts are closed. There's no money on the line for me, but I just get this. I don't know. It's just starting to irritate me a little bit. Who recognizes it? It's sort of like, I just need to know if we go below this, or we need to go, this is the, okay, let me show you the area where I need it's just this area that needs to give me the confirmation. It's such a small area, and it takes such a long time in that little area, because it's such a small area, which will give me my answer, but it just, what time are we in? We're in an hour now, right? And no, it's not much an hour, but just talking about 20 points. It's either or. Either or just annoying. No, Jerry talks that gap. Hey God, you are reading these gaps wrong. You are really not reading these gaps the way you should actually. Yes, it filled it with sell side, but it's not balanced. It's not a balanced gap, guys. You need, what is a balanced price range? What do you need in a balanced price range? The N-walk is not balanced. Yes, there has been price movement through it, but is it a balanced price range? That's why I'm leaving it on the 4 hour to show you guys. Does everybody see what I mean when I say it's not just saying it's filled doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give you any information. It's just you had sell side going through it, but is it balanced? That's the point. Once it's balanced, and then if price would go back into it, then you know it doesn't need to go back up in it again. But now you don't know shit because it could still go up because it still needs buy side, right? Yeah, exactly, Gautam. So now it still doesn't mean this 4 hour. That's why I was saying I don't like the 4 hour going through it now because that, well, actually maybe I did, but that would indicate that we have sell side, buy side, and then if it would hit it into it, then it wouldn't. Then we would know, okay, it will go up to the upside and go to the other balances, to the imbalances. Exactly. And on the 4 hour, you don't have that, right? On the 4 hour, you just have sell side, right? And the wicks only mean imbalances, and imbalances mean okay, we need to balance out those imbalances, but it is not balanced out in the sense of we need a 4 hour bullish candle through it to be for it to be balanced because everything is fractal, right? Now on the 1 hour you will see something different. On the 15-minute you will see. So if you guys are on the 1 minute, you think your end walk is balanced. You think, oh, the end walk is we've gone through it. Now it's done. But you don't understand now still the concept of balance. Well, when is a price range? How to use the concept of because just one pass through it is not enough. Jay, it's not about BPR. It's about a BPR is it's about balanced. If you talk about an N walk, what is it's a gap. What does the market do? Only two things: balance out imbalances or seeks liquidity. What's an N walk? N walk is a gap. What's a gap? It's an imbalance. What do we need to do? Balance out the imbalance. So what do we need to balance out an imbalance? But it's the same concept. Yes, it's the same concept. It's a total. Are you having a light bulb moment now? Um, I just see it very simple, Jay. For me, it's just I want a 4 hour, so that's why I'm always on the 4 hour because I trade the distribution of the 4 hour. But I would love it to go further down, and then have like, for example, maybe the 6 o'clock or well, we have a half a day, right? Maybe the 10 o'clock candle, the 4 hour candle go back through it. So for me, it's just I just want to see, and then I go to the lower time frame to find my entry point, and then I find my fair value gaps or whatever I want to enter. But I look at the 4 hour like, okay, you know, like let's say, have the scenario that we're going down, 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 and then you see already we have fair value gap here, right? That might be the end point of that maybe other 4 hour candle going back into here and going back through this area here, right? And then ending up here. But I want to close that starts below here and ends here on the 4 hour only. So, but I like what I'm seeing right now. I want that distribution to the downside. So, hey Jerry, still waiting. It's very you know, it's not really giving a lot of information at the moment. It could do anything. We're just literally in a little range here, which for me, one of the two will give me the. We're in a bloody. We are in a bloody macro, and it's not doing much, right? Um, yeah, also the thing with talking about the yes, Jay, I tend to do that, but the problem now is there are a lot. If I go to the, I don't do it now. Why? If you see how price is booking, we have gaps everywhere. But I do mark them, and especially on the 3 15 minute, I mark them. I trade off them. Yes, especially of the 4 hour. Volume imbalances are very important to me. But now on the lower time frame, I don't really, because they are just the way they trickle down. And what happens in price action like this, you can see them everywhere, here, here, here. So when you have price action like this, they will go up and down, balance out those imbalances, and that's when you see also those large wicks, right? But yes, normally I do, Jay. Yes, I love volume imbalances. They're such a um, okay, let's see. We have the first presented of the London session here. You see all these imbalances, and even on the three, there's too many of them to. But I do look specifically at those that are now. So I always mark this area, right? Because this is the 150 to 210 macro, and I do look at this one, and I said, let's see how it reacts here. You see, and we made a low here, and we rejected off it. So this one formed within the macro is of importance. This one. Oh, I actually mentioned this one. I didn't even see this one here. But see here how important this one is, because it actually bounces off this level here. Now let's see if it's going to reject, if it's going to go lower, going deeper into this. If it's going to disrespect, we want to see this one disrespected for a move to the downside. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the 3 minute. Gautam, mark the 19 December 10 a.m. upper wick. I mark a lot of wicks, but what time frame are you talking about? I grade the wicks. I'm crazy about grading wicks, but 19th December. I already did that. I already know the levels from this week, Gautam. I've graded this one a lot of the time already. I know them by head. I just took them off, but I grade them all the time. Yeah. But you probably want me to show something, right? Yeah. Yeah, and you see what happens here. So you have, yeah, I'm on the 4 hour. Yeah, I know it hit the zero. I know it hit the 0.5. But what I want to showcase, I moved it. It was on that one, and then I moved it. I moved it to this one to see, and you see it does exactly the same on this one. So that's why I said, um, this is the range we're in, and I said I want the body below this and this area, exactly this area, because I thought this might just be a small retracement to the upside, because one of the 0.5 is gonna break, but I want a confirmation, either a body closure below the standard 2 deviation or a body above. So that's why I mentioned this range, because I knew this was 0.5 from this week. I know them. Listen, I use it all the time, and not only on the daily. ICT teaches them on the daily, right? I think that's the biggest. Do you use them, Gautam, since ICT taught them this year? That's my biggest present from ICT. Those premium discount wicks, because I was using them as a rejection block already on the larger wicks, but now I'm using them much more extensively, and they give so much insight. Not today though, but you know what I mean, right? But yeah, I know this one by head. Because I've been using it like I was already grading this yesterday because I was expecting this move already to the downside for a couple of days. So I'm really frustrated that it happened. Not really frustrated, but just I wanted it to happen yesterday in London or New York. Yeah. So 0.5 here, 0.5 here. So what does that mean? We're stuck in the middle. We're dibbling in the middle, so that's why I said I was frustrated, because they're both literally doing the same thing. It went over a little bit, and you can see the same thing here, right? Exactly, just wicking a little bit over the 0.5 level on both. So both wicks are doing the same. Yeah, and yeah. But once we start moving downwards, I will um, this one comes in. Yeah, I already have, so for example, I've already done, um, oh, here, let me see. Yeah, wicks. Listen, people that have been here a while, they know I'm gonna make a t-shirt. I love large wicks, especially when we don't have too many, but just on the, I trade off them. It's just, for me, they're even more powerful for me than just bodies, to be honest, because they're the manipulation, right? They give me so much information. I couldn't trade without wicks. Yeah, I just love wicks. I really was going to make a t-shirt. I'm still looking for a good, and then I love large wigs is going to be text on it. But not the wigs, just let me get one thing straight, guys. Not the wigs that we see here, okay? Let's get that straight. Exactly. Well, sometimes I use 50. It depends on the market, but it's all fractal, right? But preferably okay, here we go. I love it. Damn, my turtle soup was okay. I could have stayed in it. Yeah. Yeah, one day, but also weekly, monthly. If you have we had a large monthly wick as well, which gave me a lot of information in the beginning of December, um, of the previous month. Oh, here we go. 539 is the. Yeah, you just have to, with those concepts, when ICT teaches something, you just have to start experimenting with them, because if he teaches one thing, everything is fractal. So if he teaches the daily, it always stimulates me to look further than, oh, okay, just the daily, but what about then other time frames, right? And then I've started looking into the 4 hour, because I trade off the the AMD, the 4 hour candle is one of my favorites. So yeah, I use the 4 hour a lot. But hey, if there's a daily one, you definitely take that into account. But also weeklies, monthlies, everything. Everything. Hey guys, there's so much information in the charts. There is so much algorithmic signatures. It's a rabbit hole though. But if you are like an alcoholic, I call myself an alcoholic because I am. I can look for those things for days, and I've done that. I've really done that. So, and then you start seeing that, oh, that's something I need to pay attention to. Oh, that's something, and you get more and more of those little things, but there's still so much to learn. I mean, you still miss a lot. Yeah. Entering in a 13-90 minute purge and revert. So one day, ooh, interesting. I like that. I focus on entering in a 13-90 minute purge and revert model. So 1 day and 1 hour, both are my major. 1 hour for SMT and bar. Oh, interesting. I use 15 minute. I don't go lower than 15 minute, and 1 hour as well. Interesting. The 1390. I would love to hear more about that. Yeah, so you found the thing that really like your frame. That's your basic framework, right? Well, I'm very interested about your 13-90 minute purge. How you execute on that. Interesting, Gautam. Well, you're in the Discord, right? So I would love to see your executions. I think we have some difference, but also some similarity, some overlap. How we look at the market. Hey, listen, guys, we've got such an interesting group of people already with different views and how they go at it. But we have some really really good traders here. I'm telling you, and they all share. We all share here. We love to share, right? We're about sharing. And it's not about being right. It's just about sharing, and just especially when we're wrong, that's why we learn, right? That's why we go over, okay, I didn't see that, what did I miss? Um, you learn most of your losing trades or things that you didn't do, you just didn't do well or executed well on. So, but now we're below the first presented. I should have stayed here and should be stopped out, but I didn't wait. I just got out, and that's sort of annoying on my end. But let's see. Yeah, yeah. It's all how your brain perceives the information, right? Because we hear like, okay, fair value. Everybody thinks the fair value gap, but there's so much more to it. A macro, everybody knows the time of the macro, but if you really understand the macro, there's so much more to it, to information you can get out of them, right? All those concepts, they have so much more information than we actually in the beginning when we hear about it, because everybody knows what a fair value gap is, but how do you use them, right? Or how can you get all this information from? Well, ICT now 3 years and Q, so I know NQ's levels really well, and I did some retail BS before that, so I was really I wasn't profitable until 1.5. Yeah, I think it's 1.5 years into ICT. Then I started to become profitable. But it took me a lot of hard work. I'm just being honest. I'm still studying a lot, not as much as I used to. But this is for me also just I really enjoy tape reading now and just paper trading because I can focus on my execution and improving my stop loss placement. I've closed my, I'm done for the year. I'm happy with what I've done. and my improvements that I made, but there's still a lot of improvements to make in the sense of this year I started to get really good at trading larger moves, like mainly like understanding the full market maker buy sell models and understanding, okay, where are we going? Where's my TP? And but then, my new problem was, okay, my stop, I trilled my stop too fast. So, and you have to look at it like, why am I doing that, right? And instead of an 8-hour trade, I get stopped out because I'm trading too fast and it's a long trade. So, it has a retracement. And then and if I look at it, of course it's going to go there. That will be normally an entry point of mine. Why would I trail it there? And it's fascinating how your brain changes once you're in a trade, right? It really is. So even though I re-enter, my 8-hour trade becomes a 3-hour trade, and I re-enter and I still get my points, but that's not the point, right? If you get into a trade and your TP is right and your stop loss is okay, you don't want to be stopped out, right? Because the trade is still valid. So, the point is you always have something to work on. That's the point I want to make. So you grow, but you need to keep evolving and keep better at the new things that you are starting to do, and that's how you really grow. That's why I love this community so much, because it gives you perspective about other views. Because sometimes you get into a tunnel, like you see things, and no, I'm confident in the way how I read the market because it starts working. But then again, you don't want to miss out on new perspectives, right? So. Jay, I've done core content twice, and then actually when he was doing the live sessions, I watched them. But I think it wouldn't hurt me to. I know there was a time when I just started. I wasn't really looking for signals, but I was also trading and hearing what he said live. So you miss a lot of information. But yeah, I've done a lot. Yes, I've seen a lot, and also the new stuff. I take the time. I don't mind that he rants a lot. I know I have to go. It's free, and I know it works for me, so I don't complain about that. And but 2025, guys, I think 2025, he really lifted the veil. In all honesty, with those last things that he gave away. Damn, if you're an ICT trader and you don't watch those videos, you're robbing yourself of some really, really valuable information. Um, yeah, I set my goals already a couple of times on stream, so everybody can hold me accountable. um, I'm going to keep working on my impatience. I want to get better at scalping. I want to work on the community on the Discord as well. And I already let go of the money amount, so that's why I put ticks on my trades, and just getting better at execution as well, and keep on working also on the mental side because that's sometimes the hardest, I guess. Yeah, everything is a gem. I think if you want to, and it's free. It's just amazing that he just think about it. If he never would have shared what he have shared, I don't think I would have been profitable at any point, to be honest. Okay, Jerry, what do you need to trust yourself more? Because it's a very broad concept. If you say I just want to trust myself more, how are you going to establish that? What do you need for that to happen? Because just saying my goal is to trust myself more is just very generic, right? But what do you need for you? When would you trust yourself more? What do you need for that specifically to make that happen? That's the interesting part, right? And that's the hard part as well. So I can actually elaborate on that a little bit. For me, the more mechanical my trades are, so the more I use data and the more I can sit back and just be relaxed and just accept the full risk. Then I'm also okay to be fully wrong, and that's the best place to be in. Um, Well, Gautam, actually, I wanna elaborate on that a little bit. If you would even risk less, but you still don't have a model and you're still not sure what you're doing, you still get the same uneasy feeling. And then I think that's the trap for people to start revenge trading, because they just risk, like say, because I can talk from experience. I tried that, but what happened is I actually wasn't ready, and I just thought, oh, it's just 0.5%, and then I would do it 10 times, and it would still end up with losing trades, but I still didn't know what I was doing. But the truth was, I didn't want to be honest to myself that I didn't have a proper model, which I didn't backtest. I wasn't journaling straight away. For me, my big change came after journaling. Well, so, and also something that I did in the beginning, I moved my stop loss while it was a losing trade. I was afraid of having a losing trade, so I would make my stop bigger. Hmm. Yeah. So just having I don't, I just actually want to say I don't agree with this. Oh, just size down. But if you don't have a model, it's not going to help you, because you're just going to trade more because you're thinking, oh, I sized down, so I have more options to try, but you still don't know what you're doing. It's really being honest about yourself and do you have a model? And if not, no, well, we work on a model. And that's why I want to, I showcase the 2R breaker retest trade, because I think it's one of the easiest to recognize, make it's mechanical. You know how to calculate your 2R, you know where to put your stop loss, and it works 80% of the time. It was one of my first models that I used when I started to become, okay, I can trust that one. It's easy, it's reliable, and it works 80%. And if you have good risk management. No, but no, Jay, I'm safe because I only put the trade that you see here. It's always a paper trade. I trade my regular account, but I trade minis and micros. So, but I've got enough disclaimers. I'm safe. But the trade that you see here, if even though I put on the paper trade, I mimic it on my own account or on my eval or my fund, and I always say it. I always say, okay, guys, this is only a paper trade. And if I trade my accounts, I'll mention it as well. So I never connect my accounts here. I don't want to do that because also I don't trust it too much because I've had a few glitches as well. So I keep them separate. So no, my disclaimers are all are tight. No worries. Thanks for putting it out there. You can see it's a paper. It's paper, right? Um, can you see it? No, you can't see it. It's paper. Here, it's paper. So on screen it will always be a paper trade also to keep myself safe. Yes. No, no, it's just being truthful. You just need to be fully transparent all the time so people. I don't see the difference though, but it's just being transparent. That's why I always say, okay, guys, I'm only paper trading now. End of the year. But also, if I'm not paper trading, this will be the paper trade, and then I will add. I will put the trade on, or I'm already in my other account, and I say, okay, this is the trade that I put on my eval or my thing. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm just not sure if you connect it, if you put yourself at risk, even though it's funded or you don't know if things are going to change in the eval because there's so much scams now going on with so many companies. That's why, guys, I'm not doing any. You don't see any affiliate links on my stream or whatever. I want to keep it affiliate link free. And, even funding ticks. So many people that I know and respect are still pushing them, and I'm like, how can you do that? So many people are really now are getting screwed by them. So yeah. Roman, how much maximum numbers of trades you can take in a single day just by using ICT? Well, you can trade. Well, ICT so he can trade every 15 minutes. He can trade every hour, but I wouldn't recommend that. You can trade as much as you like, but if you have a model, you wait for that model. and that's where the patience comes in. Um, but I think the concepts are not really applicable to um yeah, everybody use funding ticks, but even also Top Step at the moment. I used to love Top Step guys, but they need to sort their shit out. And that whole Project X is just so horrible. Um, Project X, Top Step, and funding ticks are really now. Now I know Top Step doesn't do affiliate links, but funding ticks does. But yeah, yeah, you have to be very careful. And also, as if you are, streaming and you have got people, I would be so ashamed if people use my code and they get scammed. I would be just, I don't know. So I'm staying away of that. Uh, well, I don't like the trading drawdown. I used to trade with them, but not anymore. But I know people that have problems, and I know people that got a lot of payouts from them. So yes, exactly. They're very cheap, but hey, sometimes they ask you to film yourself. Well, it's easy for me now. I can say, hey, I've got a YouTube channel, but I don't like the trading drawdown, and but I like Funded Next. I use Funded Next a lot. Yeah, but yeah, we just have to be careful. Just I don't know. I just feel sorry for people that have been, saving all their, especially on funding ticks, they were saving for Christmas and then they cannot get a payout. And then it's quite a lot of people with a lot of money that they had built buffers and then, oh my God, just terrible. Just nasty, right? So, but I think on the Discord, I also made like if you have bad experiences, drop them so we know, right? Like, okay, what can we use? What is, hey, listen, guys, let's see if we are going to go get a distribution because it's almost 3:29 now. Well, yeah, some people do really well with Apex, so I guess my turtle soup was right here, and I got chickened out. I chickened out of my turtle soup. Damn, that would have been a good trade. That does annoy me a little bit because I wasn't stopped out. I stopped myself out. I don't know why. It's a bummer. I think it's going to go here now to 2.5. We're going to go into this wick here. Damn it. Anyone in a short? Are you guys banking on the short? Yeah, trading drawdown is an enemy to ICT traders. Yes, it is. Definitely. Let's put this one on again. Let's see if it goes below the. Oh, go Tom, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed already that I use a little bit more than just quarters. Let's see if we can get past the. Are we going to create an equal low, or are we going to go past it? 571. Let's see. I think we're going to go to 571-ish. Vincent is in. Good. Good for you. You see that we were forming the 4-hour wicker. So that was this move up. So we open. I should put the 2 o'clock here. So we opened here, right? 2, open. We go down a little bit. Manipulation, distribution. We're in the distribution now. I fucking turtle suited and I got out. So annoying. Accumulation, manipulation. Are we in distribution now or not? Let's see. I still don't trust it for the full percentage though, but okay, we did make a low here. Yeah, it was beautiful. Hey, congrats, the real DC trader. You passed it, and that. Be careful now. I can do. This is my first. I just took. I can do. Welcome everybody. That wick was beautiful. We love wick. Hey guys, this is the stream that loves wicks. Okay, we are the wick. Maybe we should change the name because we love wicks. We do not fear wicks. We love them. We embrace them because we trade of them. We make a lot of money off wicks. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I could have entered here again, but I'm talking a lot as well. But this was my guys. You saw that I turtle souped it, right? I just got out. Damn, that was a good trade though. I need to journal that. Hey, forget about gold. Come to NQ. NQ is the where we're going to look at gold in the next year. Gold is not going to do. I mean, why? I can tell you why. Because of the wicks. We love wicks because they give us a lot of intel. I already said here. Listen, it's not a long anymore. Get out. I mean, be careful with the long. Why? Because we opened lower than the close here, but if you have a long wick like this, you already have your information. It's not going to move fast. It's going to move slow because why? A wick is a bunch of gaps, and gaps need to be rebalanced, and that takes time. Wicks like this, we love our wicks, not all wicks. This is not really. We see this. We know it's not favorable. You don't want. Yeah, you rate it, and you see it will go very slow from gradient to gradient. So if I see this, I already know that gold is not going to give me my move because it's already telling you it's going to be slow. So that's why. Hey, David. Hey, Gautam. No, algorithmic signatures are wicks. Wicks give algorithmic signatures. They tell you a lot. Hey, I got out of that turtle soup. If I would have been trading my accounts and I would got out and I see this move, I would be so pissed, guys. I would be so pissed. Now I really am. I know I know something. I got out because of not of I can't remember, but it's so being able to get the distribution, you have to be able to identify the A, M, and the D. Now, why do I mark this area? This is the 150 to 210 macro. Always this in London always gives me a lot of information. Now, what I now see very clearly is that we've got the accumulation that was already ongoing, but we still had accumulation during the 150 to 210 macro. Then we started to go down a little bit, and then came the real the manipulation move, right, for the London session. So this is the manipulation move of the London session. So we're forming this wick here. Is this, well, we opened here, but we have a small move, and then we had this wick. So the creation of this 4-hour wick, that is normally where I enter as an AMD trade. I want to be, if I want to catch the distribution move of a 4-hour candle, I always want to enter in this wick. That's my entry. That's the point where I enter. So that's why I turtle souped here. I got out for some reason. Don't ask me why. End of the year, my brain is not working properly. I think I did mention the midnight, but I thought I don't think we're going to get there because of that 0.5 level that I marked on this wick. I said, okay, we don't go over that. So I should have stayed in that trade and should have just, I should have just stayed in and not just. But anyway, and then this would have been another. This would have been another entry as well. But we'll see. Oh, guys, we got a troll. Welcome, troll. Thank you for helping the algorithm. We love trolls. Hey, we're banking a lot. There's a lot of people banking here, so you're welcome to join. Welcome to Feed the Algo. We love trolls. How many hours do you do? How many hours do you do live stream? Well, Roman, I did a lot of live streaming. I started 4.5 months ago, and I started with London and New York PM session, and then I thought, okay, people were asking about, okay, could you do AM session? At some point, I was doing a little bit too much streaming, but in the new year, London will stay, and I'm going to introduce a membership. Will be pre-market prep, which I would do a little bit before 9 o'clock, I think. And then I'll have to see how much time when, but it definitely will be, there will be a New York session, yes. But I tend to stay long quite a bit, so I don't mind because I really love it. I don't mind as long as as the market is moving and we can talk and we can chat and we can learn. So time for the New York session will be communicated, but definitely the London session will stay as it is, and New York session will, I have to, because I don't want to stream from New York open to close, which I have sometimes been doing a little bit. So yes, I live off trading, definitely, yes. Make money online. Support and resistance level are very retail. I think they don't make you very profitable, to be honest. If it helps for you, but just support and resistance level can be very tricky. Yes, we love trolls. Keep them coming. I find it funny if people ask if I'm profitable. I am profitable, so I don't need to do affiliate links. I am profitable, so I don't need to trade the last few days of the year. Um, yeah, I'm in a very privileged situation, I guess. But everybody can be profitable if you work hard enough for it. You got to pay the troll to get in. Hey guys, they're helping the algo, so they don't realize it, but they're actually helping me. So yesterday we had a very it might be the same one though. I think if I delete him, he might come back. So we could do that, and then he helps me even more. But no, I'm gonna. Yesterday I was deleting one, and I think he made 8 or 9 new accounts. He kept on coming back, and like, okay, well that doesn't work. So and the moment we said, okay, you're welcome here, you won, he shut up. So, but I did make a joke yesterday because the price section was very boring, and I said, oh my god, where are the trolls? We need some free entertainment. And then he just popped up like a genie in the bottle, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't think I'm gonna wish for that again, I guess, because yes, I do trade prop firms. I trade Funded Next and my own account, but I'm not trading anymore at the end of the year, and I'm just paper trading now. But even that, I entered here on a turtle soup, but I got out for some reason. and then I'm just talking. No, I don't need to be as rich as Elon Musk. I just need enough money to live and travel and be where I am. That's enough. And maybe contribute to the projects 2050. I hope I'm still alive by then. Is anyone in that short? Now always be careful in London. The London low tends to be made between 2:30 and 4 a.m. So always be careful if you're in a short right now. Always keep in mind, right, guys? The London low, in this case, we're talking about a low, will be created most of the times, but just keep it in mind that the low could be made. Yes, Vincent, I agree. That's why I'm so excited. So, Bill says, why not long this? Would you, are you a gambler? Why would you long this right now? I mean, you could be right, but don't you need any confirmation? Don't you want to see if the move is done, or don't you want to change in the state of the delivery or market structure change before you enter a long? Or you're just going to go in blind because it just stops at a random time? Yeah, I think I mean, Vincent, that's something that makes me really, really excited is how this community is going, right? It's just the chat has been amazing, and it's just I don't know, I cannot say it enough. Um, and I love you guys. You guys, hey guys, I got monetized this week. That is something for a channel that of this size and how things are going. It's exceptionally fast, but it's because of you guys. And it's not about the money, but just that you achieve a specific thing that and so it's just really um, yeah, just 4.5 months in. I never thought this would happen the way it's happening. So thank you again. I have to thank you guys, and I really don't mind reading, tape reading, going over price, sharing knowledge. And what I like about this community is that you don't even mind if I'm not in a trade, but I'm sharing knowledge, and I know that you guys don't care if it's a paper trade or if I'm not even trading, but just sharing, going over price. It's enough because I don't need to trade for you guys to learn, right? And that's what I love about this community. I can already tell from some people, if they come in and the way they ask a questions, they're not here to learn. They just wanna signal. But most of you guys don't. You just wanna go over price, and you're actually. I think most of you are even fine if I even wouldn't trade, but just share knowledge, just go over tape reading. I'm sure most of you wouldn't even care. But yeah, well, there is the point that I'm just saying, like, just giving like general knowledge, like, okay, generally speaking, between 2:30 and 4 a.m., London tends to make the high or the low. So you need to be cautious here, right? So yeah, if you're in a long, you're looking with your eyes. You might have a runner, but okay, you know what? Let me have a look because we also have we have a little or a block here. We're stopping here, but is it enough? Are we just going to have a retracement? So I um, just want to mention, like, this could be a time to be aware of a potential retracement or a reversal. Now I don't think that's why I'm talking about the 4 hour again. Where are we in the 4 hours? 347. just try to imagine, like, okay, what is the 4 hour doing? Are we distributing? Yes. Is the distribution then done? And because the 4 hour goes from 2 to 6. Now, obviously, you take into account there might be a little bit of retracement, but is it time to retrace or reverse for the 4 hour? If you look at the structure, right? So I just want you guys to start thinking for yourself. I don't want to give everything away because I want you guys to have those aha moments. Now, if you look at this candle, do you think this candle is done? Or are we just going to have a little bit of a stop? A little bit of retracement? Now, did we make imbalances here? Or do you have a breaker on the 1 minute? Now, one thing I want to share, hold on. Now you see there's one candle here, right? And I don't like one candle breakers, but they could perform as a breaker. But here again, like if you consider this a breaker, you have already here a gap and a fair value gap. So would you want to enter on this breaker? Not really, right? Because it just goes up and it could reject right over here already. Now look at the 3 minute. Do you see bullish structure here? I just see what I see. If I look at this here, I would see just a little bit of a retracement to go further down. Why? Because there's no breaker here. There's nothing. There's just a bunch of imbalances which we go up into to rebalance to go back further down. If there will be a 3 minute breaker or a 1 minute and a 5 minute as well, then I would think, okay, we might be ready for a reversal. But if somebody says, oh, well, you want a long here, I'm like, really? Why would you want a long here? You don't know shit then, because you don't know how to read price. Yeah, if you want to trade if I'm bearish, I actually don't want to trade a bullish move. I could trade it, but why would I trade? I would add actually here for a short, right? In this area. But then you still have to take into account that the low is mostly formed at 4 o'clock. That doesn't mean it won't go further down, but we might go into consolidation or have a, so you just want to, add all that information. And going back to our ICT wicks, you have a beautiful wick here. You want to also have a look here. And okay, if we go down, where are we going into? And we have what do we have here? We have a event horizon, right? So there's a lot of information here, and you have to take into account. But you also have to be sometimes just happy with your trade. Just if you're in a short, you take it and you're done, and you watch, and we come back in the pre-market, right? So considering that the move might be done for a while. And it was a beautiful, at least we got some distribution. Did we go lower than this block? Not yet. So Make Money Online is asking about the opening range breakout. Well, I only trade the opening range gap, which is the gap between the close at 4:15 and the opening at 9:30. Those give me the most information. So I don't know exactly opening range breakout, but I use the opening range gap, so the RTH gap. That is my I use that for as my information, and that works for me really, really well. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Hey, Papacito, how are you doing? But yeah, the opening range gap is my go-to. The NWOGs, NDOGs, opening range gaps, RTH gaps. Hey, I love them, and they make me a lot of money. Um, um, So we have the 350 to, so let's, if we go further down, right? Hey, Biligon. Yeah, so I don't want to, I was maybe a bit blunt, but just why do you, okay, maybe I'm sorry, because maybe I misread your question. So you want more information before you actually want to change when there is movement to the downside, and especially if you're on a higher time frame candle, especially in the 4 hour, which is showing movement to the downside. You really want higher time frame confirmation that that they are changing direction, right? So the only thing you want to establish for now is, okay, will I be preparing myself, like for example, if you miss this move to the downside, the only thing that you want to do now, okay, you know what, I just wanted more information if I can re-enter somewhere or enter for the first time for a continuation move to the downside. But it is a good question in the sense of that time-wise, I would be very vigilant now because we are approaching 4 o'clock. But if we're going to distribute to the lower side, we might just distribute all the way now, right? So I could it's generally speaking 4 o'clock, the low. But if we're going to get a really, really down day, then they might continue now already. So we're just going to. So for me, it's interesting to watch. Like, okay, because you know nothing is 100%, right? Most of the things are. They don't always work, but if they work 80% of the time, we consider it a model or good enough to, you know, if it works 80% of the time and your risk reward is always 2R, you know, you're in a very good place. Yeah, so the opening range gap is the RTH gap. So the opening range gap is the gap that is formed. So you can toggle. I don't know, you got the real DC trader, God bless, thank you, good night, and Happy New Year, because I'm not going to see you guys maybe today. So you can, do you have trading view? Because you can toggle between electronic hours and RTH, right? So if you toggle to RTH, you only get your trading between 9:30 and 4:15. You don't see the overnight trading, so you only see. So the gap, so I'll show you, hold on, let's go here. Now we're looking at, this is all overnight trading. Let me go to the 15-minute to make it clear. Now we have 4:15 somewhere here. I can see because this is settlement price right over here. So I think we have 4:15 should be somewhere here. Yeah. So if I would toggle, oh, Tamir, you had a winning trade. Good. Well done. Happy New Year for you. Do not give any money back, my friend. So you see that? So you have, this is here. So until the market closed yesterday. So if I'm going to go to RTH, you will see this will all disappear now. Right? So let me do that right now. I'll go to regular trading hours. Boom. So you see here, the overnight trading. So all this, what we're doing now is disappearing. Now, like say the gap starts from here, from the close, from the market closed here, right? And let's say we're going to go all the way down to here. This will be the RTH gap, which I will work on. Even if we trade it here in the overnight, it is a gap because it's the overnight gap. Because technically, IPTA and also other institutional traders, they trade literally, they use these levels from this close to the open. So it's considered a gap. Now technically we trade it, but it's a gap if you consider it. If you only trade RTH, you will have a gap here. Does that make sense? Because the RTH doesn't see, it just disregards all trading that happens overnight. So we go back now to, so let's say we end somewhere here at 9:30, right? So then you have the 6:15 price, closing price to 9, that will be the gap. And it's a gap. And a gap, what is a gap? A gap is an imbalance that needs to be rebalanced, right? So it's the same concept. It's the same concept with an N-walk, with a gap, with a wick. It's all the same. Does that make sense? And let me tell you one thing. That 15-minute orb that people trade, that's such a bullshit, to be honest. It's really, it's just, um, and that's all, but also ICT introduced the opening range. That's another range, but that's valid. The 9:30 to 10 a.m. range. Yes, that's a valid range. But the opening range gap and the 15-minute orb, those are two totally different things. I would highly suggest everybody to start testing the opening range gap, the RTH gap. Yes. Um, a gap is a gap. Yeah. It's actually very simple. It's actually, you have to look through the market to a simplified lens to understand. It is, so the fair value gap is the most simplest form that is to be that can be seen by people because everybody understands, the three candle structure. But a gap is a gap, yes, and it is the same concept. So it's actually it's a very simplified way of looking at the market. But it's how the market, you know that people say, I mean, you have heard the term, like the market does only two things, right? Balances out imbalances and seek liquidity. That's it. That's literally it. But then is the question is but where are the imbalances? What is a gap? A gap is an imbalance. What are gaps? Fair value gaps, RTH gap, opening the weekend gap, the daily gap. So when the market opens, I look at the gap where it is and I mark it and I look at how price. Well, I can show you. Um, that's why yesterday my trade didn't work out because I still had opening range gap levels that weren't filled. Okay, there's a lot of information coming on my screen, guys, so my apologies already, but I want to show you guys. So you can, opening range gaps, you can automate them. Fijne feestdagen, Vincent. Hey, you enjoy. And Vincent, when you're done, please feel free to share your pictures in the Discord. I've got travel and hobbies. I would love to see your pictures or your wildlife because I miss my bush. I miss it. Please give me my bush fix. Enjoy, guys, and Vincent, happy New Year, and see you back in 2026. Okay, let me show you opening range gap. I have to put two on. Yesterday, this was yesterday's opening range gap. No, not, it's an older one. But I just look at how I treat gap. I'm off. Yes. Oh, don't tell me. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Enjoy. You know what? I don't actually need to show you. I just need to. It's literally the same. So you got it's literally the same as an end dog as an end walk. So literally this gap here. So I treat them exactly the same as this gap. You just need to be able to define the gap. So the RTH gap is the gap between 415 and market open, but you can automate them with that indicator. But you treat them exactly the same how you look at the end walk. So it's exactly the same. Or how you treat the fair value gap. It's just exactly the same. You don't really trade off them. You use them for intel. You just use them for intel. They give you intel. So that will come with experience. If you start using them and start looking at them, and do you journal? If you start journaling, because it's very hard. I cannot explain everything in one session, like how I trade off them, but I do use them, and especially older ones, and that's how I can define moves and TPs and how I know. Especially using the 4 hour, if I know, oh, we've got some unfinished business in some older gaps, and I know, okay, the 4 hour is moving, and I use my fib calculations. I have a lot of guys. I'm a nerd, and I have a lot of tabs which I can't show because I don't want to confuse you. But I have a lot of tabs that I look into with calculations, with different ways of looking at the market. But once I think, oh, price is going, I use all those gap informations for my broader intel, and that's how I combine a lot of things to define TPs and especially time. Let's not forget time. Time is the most important thing. When is time ready to move? You know, when is it ready to make that move? Because nothing is more important than time. We've got a few time-based traders already here. But ICT is just the building foundation, but it gives me the way how to read the market. But then the second thing that comes in is when is it ready to move, right? When is it time to move? The macros come in, the 10, 2 to 10, but it's not only macros. There's so much more to time than only macros. We've got root candles. I mean, I can, guys, that's why I love just going over this, because there's so much information once you start getting into it that I like to share, but there's some things that there are one or two things that I won't share. I'm being honest with it, because that took me a long time to find out. But I think the ones that are paying attention, that are writing things down, they will figure that out on their own. Because some things are just, if you have been studying and getting into, like, oh my god, you get a few oh my god moments, and you're like, really? Is that really? But I share a lot. You know, I had a few times that people got into the ICT traders and they say, you're sharing too much. I said, well, I might, but maybe not. I like to share. And I like to create light bulb moments. So people get like moments like, oh shit, that makes sense. I see. That's what I want to do. Yes, I trade New York. So I'm going to introduce one YouTube pre-market prep, but that will be because I want to keep it very for a small amount of people. And coaching, actually, you know what? I don't want to do one-on-one coaching, but maybe one or two a year, maybe because it takes a lot of time. And I really want to focus on the YouTube streams, but maybe one or two, but it's very intensive to do one-on-one coaching because you need to, you know, it's literally a tailor-made mentorship to one person. So I used to coach in my older work because I was a Scrum Master, and I did that. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, to be honest, because it takes a lot of time and it takes away time off the YouTube channel. But the only thing that I'm going to do is the pre-market prep. That will be a paid membership from YouTube, because that's, you know, I do that by myself anyway now. But that will be from the 2nd or 5th of January. I will introduce that. But the rest everything will stay the same. And I don't want to take more away from the YouTube and what I'm doing now, because I really love doing that, building community, and just focus on sharing. And then let's see, we can keep the chat. If we don't get too many trolls, if we can keep the chat the way it is. Yesterday I was like, oh my god, do I need to get a membership only chat? But I don't want that. But if we get too many trolls, then you guys are going to choose. It's all about you guys. So you guys can decide. But so for now, nothing will change. Everything's going to stay the way it is, and let's see how it evolves. But I think you got, if you want, what I did. Hey, my little cutie. So for ICT beginners, because I know it's overwhelming, on the Discord I made, and I'm going to keep it only for beginners because people are intermediate, they can find their way. I created a ICT library where to start and just the basics. So core content month 1 to 5, and I took a few months out because I think those can be revisited later. So I just want to keep it very simple. So I can refer people back to the Discord to start instead of going to it's all ICT original, but you don't have to go to ICT's channel because it's a bit overwhelming if you haven't done it because there's a lot of information there. So yeah, but I definitely, if I'm an ICT based trader, so it is handy for people to have some ICT knowledge, to be honest. Yes. But Tamir, yeah, maybe I'll do at 8:30, but it's a half day, so let's see. But for now, guys, so you see, I think we created the low for now. I think I'm going to touch some grass. I don't know about you guys, but it's a nice day here. But I'll do an 8:31. It's a short day. Just have a look and to clear the market out. I've got some time before my socializing begins, and I just love it. So. And I really want to see how the market is going to end. Last year I didn't understand the market as well as I do now, so I really am curious what it's going to do, if it's going to really fill out those imbalances. So will you guys be there? I'll just start the trade, and if there's no one there, I can finish it anyway. I've got a few hours, but I'll do it at 8:30. We can watch the news. Yeah. Any questions? But if you join me when the next year starts, you'll get a grip because I am you'll see the opening range gap all the time when I start trading. I'm not showing them now because we have no. Well, actually, I can show you here. There should be one here down that I'm marked. Where is my opening range gap? Here, unfilled opening range gap. I've got some information here. You see that? I marked that. We still need to go here. And that one is from when? I might have missed a few though, but they might not be so. 24th of November. Okay, well. Yeah, but sometimes they get to you, right? The trolls. But most of the times, you know what I notice? It's a chat. If you have a strong chat with a good, solid base with the people that are, who have a sense of community, they just chip in and then they disappear. But listen, it's end of the year, so a lot of things are not really applicable now anymore, and the market is just really slow. But if we next year start, you'll see the opening range gap is one of the biggest part of my trading style, and I refer back to them a lot, and I use a lot of first presented fair value gaps as well. So I created my own roadmap a little bit, how to look at markets, and but next year it will become more clear. But if I may make a suggestion for you, were you the one who asked about the breaker? I don't know. If you haven't done a lot of ICT and you feel you like what I'm doing here, I would like to recommend you to go over some most important core content month 4. Is the PDRA metric. So at least when I talk about a rejection block, when I talk about a breaker, a mitigation block, propulsion block, you understand. You don't have to understand them completely, but you understand a little bit. Oh, okay. And premium discount and just the basics. So core content month 1, if you have the time to do so, that will make it. You will pick it up much quicker what I'm doing here because I do use all of the PDRAs. Now a few more than the others, but that will be my suggestion then to you. And then you will understand, things will become more clearer if I explain certain things. Yeah. So Billiken says, I always end up catching a falling knife or flying knife, and the count's blown. How to stop? Billiken, I think that has to do with more like not knowing, not understanding how the market really books, right? And maybe being a little bit too greedy, but not being able to have a TP or a proper TP. If you're catching a falling knife, that means you're actually chasing a little bit. Then you get into a trade and it's already going, and actually you missed the proper entry, right? So the moment actually, like when I entered, for example, when I say I want to enter in this manipulation move, that's before the drop. For example, when a distribution starts, I'm normally already positioned myself before the drop comes. So I am in when the market, I'm already in before the market falls. That's why people ask me, why are you not using volume? I said, yeah, well, I don't want to get in when the volume starts spiking. I want to be in already. I'm already positioned myself. So I don't need volume because I don't, I'm positioning myself when there's low volume, so it doesn't tell me anything. So for catching a falling knife is actually you're entering too late. You're just chasing at that moment and you're not positioned properly. So you want to be in before the knife falls, right? Um, uh, so you got I'm talking about the information on my channel on my Discord, ICT, just core content month 4. But you can also go directly to ICT, but there's a lot of information. It's just a link to ICT's page. But core content is the basic. It's just the basic, and that is yeah, month 1 to 4. But just to start with, month 4 is just a PDRA matrix. So that is just the breaker block itself, the order block, the rejection block, things like that. Well, you can go to ICT's page, but what I did, I just made a very beginner's ICT, just the core content to start with. ICT is coming with a book. Don't buy any other books from other people. Just buy, if you want to buy a book. But hey, listen, everything is for free out there. You don't have to buy a book. Um, But core content month 4 ICT is the thing you need to start with. That's it for now. Just start slow. Um, and you don't need to pay for any mentorship. Everything is for free from ICT. Is free out there, and I think should be passed on for free as well. So don't pay for any ICT mentorships because everything is out there for free. The only thing that people will complain is that, oh, he's so long-winded. Yeah, well, you know what? It's free, so it doesn't come easy, but there's a lot of value there still. But yeah, either you go to ICT core content month 4, or you do the whole core content month 1 to 12. But like I said, I created ICT library on my Discord channel for you guys, for the beginners to start learning, and I took a few months out of core content, which I don't think that needs to be learned straight away. But yeah, I guess anyone else has a question. Is that enough you got? Did I answer your question? Oh, you were lucky in the beginning. Actually, it's not, it's actually not a good thing when you are doing well so early, because most of the times we do that, right? We are yes, I have a lot of any losses. Yes, they're on my channel. I have a few recaps, but I'm not going to go over my losing trades now. You can find it on on my on my on my recap site. So I will do more recaps as well, by the way. But I will make it a habit of because I know people don't want to see all the whole stream, right? I mean, if you have a 3-hour stream, um, I understand people don't want to watch the whole 3 hour stream, so I will get back. I made a few recaps, but because people told me, listen, the algo is favoring, do not confuse the algo right now. So really, even people that are working at YouTube said, now listen, it's better for you not to do it. But I will start doing again after the beginning of January. I'll make shorter recaps, so all my trades are fully in a max 15-minute video with all my trades per day, going over them and stuff like that. So I think people would really like that, right? Yeah, let me ask that guy. Let me make a poll quickly. Would you watch a recap? Would you appreciate let me just quickly make a poll because I don't want to make recaps and nobody watches them. Let me. Would you watch? Would you watch a recap of longer streams, going over the trades that day? Yes or no? I just want to have a feeling if it's worthwhile, because if I make, making recaps, it takes time, guys. You got to do it and you got to edit it. So just let me know, guys, because then I know what to do. If there's no interest, I'm not going to do it, obviously. If there's interest, I will do it. And user, yes, of course I've got losses. Every trader has losses. So that's actually a stupid question. Every trader has losses. But the question is, do you have good risk? The better question was, you should ask, do you have good risk management? 50%, 67. Come on, guys, 61 people, only 3 votes. Come on, guys, vote. Let me know. I need your guys input to know what to do. Also on the Discord to organize, sessions and stuff like that. Let's bring it to 10 votes, guys. Come on, 5 more. Well, I think it's going to be. I think most people would like it, right? Especially when you look afterwards, when you couldn't watch the stream. I think most people don't watch a whole stream, right? I mean, I hate doing that. If there's a long stream, 2 or 3 hours, I wouldn't like go over people's stream as well. Okay, I think I get the point. More yes, more a few no's. Okay, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'll check. I'll do it again at the beginning of the year just to make sure. But if I get a good idea of it, I'll make recaps, and I'll make them as concise and just easy to go through. So if people miss the stream, that they can just go to the recap instead of the whole stream. So yes, yes, 8 votes. Perfect. Okay. 9 votes. I will do it in Discord so people can also they can maybe give some more information if it's a no, because I can also I think a no could also be yes. I'm watching the stream anyway, so I don't care about a recap. But thank you guys, I appreciate it. 80-20. Appreciate that you guys anticipated. So okay. Hey guys, this is anything for the next year. Feel free to share any input that you have that you want to see or whatever, because especially the Discord, it's just starting and it's still growing, and it's growing because of you guys, of the community. So your input will be highly appreciated if you have specific things that you want to get going there. So okay. For those that I don't see anymore for today, I want to wish you a very, very, very happy, happy, happy new year. Again, thank you so much for supporting and just being part of my journey and your journey. I mean, we're in it together, right? And for those that I don't see later today, I'll see you hopefully back in 2026. And we'll grow together, we'll learn together, and we just, have fun together. Oh my God, wow, a lot of people, I totally missed that. Thank you for subscribing. I think I was at 7, 8, how much people, guys, this is crazy. I don't know how many people, but a lot of people subscribed this session. That's just crazy. I can't even remember. I think I was at 750 and I'm over 800 now. God, this is just, guys, this is crazy. Well, anyway, it's not the most important thing. Well, it is important because we are growing the community with awesome people. So thank you. I'm just really humbled by you guys. But again, thank you, and happy New Year for those I don't see, and for the other ones that I will see, I'll see you around. We'll start at 8:45. Why? Because we're not going to trade at 8:30. We're going to let the news candle just run. So I'm going to make a stream for 8:45. And thank you, you God. I love you guys. You're so awesome. Really, I love this chat is so just. I cannot say it enough. Again, for those, see you next year, and for the rest, I'll see you maybe later today, and I'll see you in a bit. Touch some grass. Go enjoy. And you see, we made the low. Mark, if you start journaling, mark what times, if you trade London, what time did we make the low? What happened, right? Just start looking at the what the price is doing. I'll see you later. Ciao.